Happy New Year's. I got a half of a face cord delivery for this afternoon. And I have my 4 feet long, 2 feet high racks that I've made. So I can go ahead and stack it in there, make sure I have exactly what the customer's ordered. So it'll be 4 feet long, 4 feet high. That's why I have two of those. The phone's resting on one of those. So I'm gonna go ahead and stack this one. Gonna have another one right here that I made. I'll be stacking that too, and I'll throw it in the back of my truck. I have found out, since I have bought my conveyor, the hand crank conveyor for the bed of my truck, it's a pain in the butt for me to take the cover off every single time. If I had a firewood truck that was specifically just for firewood deliveries and things, I would probably just permanently keep it on there. But to take it off and put it back on every single time, this is also my personal truck and my work truck, so I prefer not to have to take it off, put it back on, take it off, put it back on, because that cover is kind of heavy and it's kind of a pain getting it off and on. And anyway, so for the time being, I'm not doing the conveyor, not doing it, and I'm just going to do it this way. So I have some maple right here. I don't know how well y'all can see. I'm trying it in 4K right now. If I use the selfie version of my phone, then I can't do the 4K. I'm just going to see if the picture quality is better with the 4K. I don't have a 4K TV because I got an old TV. I don't know. You guys let me know if the picture quality is better than the other ones that I've made. We will wait and see. I'll watch the other ones too, just to kind of compare them. Anyway, we'll see what happens. But maple, a little bit of sweet gum in there. This is good stuff though. The size of this sweet gum is pretty small, but it's good to mix it in with some other stuff. It's gonna burn pretty quickly like the maple. And I don't know if it's gonna burn about the same as maple. I don't burn a whole lot of sweet gum. I don't know how quickly it's gonna burn, but I know the maple burns pretty quick. They're about the same weight, so I'm thinking they'll probably burn about the same. These are really small splits. Just mixing some of this stuff in. Did a moisture detection on them, and they're around 15%. And it rained a couple of days ago. Some of the stuff that doesn't look the best, it's got a little root rot in it. Some of this maple, I just tossed it to the side. Some of the stuff's okay. It's a little punky right at the middle, but that'll be fine. That'll burn well as long as they keep it dry. If they have this facing up, if they have this part right here in the middle of the pith facing up on top of the stack, it'll just stay wet. It'll tend not to dry out. It will eventually, but this wasn't on the top of my stack. That's why it's dried out a little better. And like you guys know, if I can get some of this bark off, I will. This is like kindling. I put it in there anyway. This piece right there is not terrible. I'll try and stack it as tightly as possible, because I know the customers, if they stack it as tightly as possible and it's not 4 feet tall by 4 feet long, they're gonna be unhappy. So I'm gonna try and do it as tight as I can. I'm gonna make sure everybody's happy. It's a referral, and she sent me a picture of their fireplace, their indoor fireplace, and it's not a stove, doesn't have doors on it, so I know it's just for ambiance. They're gonna go through a lot of wood, just like I do. That open fireplaces, I want to say it's something like 30% efficient, something like that. So I know they want lots of flame, and that's what this will give them. So I'm gonna do about half of this kind of maple and sweet gum mixed, and then half oak is what I'll do. actually bring my wheelbarrow over here because I got a lot. If I'm going to be doing this, getting all this bark off, it's just going to pile up over here. That's a good little piece right there. Maple. We'll be right back. I'm going to get my wheelbarrow. That way I make it a little easier for cleanup. All right, got my wheelbarrow. Get some of this bark. Get it out of here. Make the cleanup a little easier. I decided to keep my wheelbarrow here and not at my house. I use it a lot more out here. If I have to take it home, I'll take it home. But it's about a 15-minute trip to my house. All right. It's a little windy, sorry about the wind. Another piece of kindling, I'll toss that out. These are small pieces, small splits. Some of this has a lot of the grass clippings on it when we weed eat it around it or mow it around it. So I just kind of knock it off a little bit. It's funny, some people don't mind not seeing a whole lot of flame. They just want a warm fire. They just want to see a little flame. Little flames, you can use monster pieces, a little bit more smoldering. But this right here, this burns super hot and fast, so you will be going back to the wood pile to get some more wood for sure, like I do. I have a pretty good idea how much loosely tossed in the back of the bed of my truck there. F-150 crew cab, short bed, so it's 5.5 feet long. I have an idea of how much a half of a face cord takes up, loosely thrown in, but I'm just making sure. That's why I'm doing this again. I haven't had any complaints from customers. This is just, I haven't been doing it for 20, 30 years like some of y'all out there watching. So I just want to make sure. I don't want to take it for granted. Especially since I have my bed cover on near the cab of my truck. It's still on. I didn't want to have to take it off because I know if I loosely throw these in, it should be just short of the top of the rails of the bed of the truck. Should be. That's what we're hoping for. All right, y'all, if I had to choose a Raymerwood mascot, this is what I would choose. Y'all see those fellas? Those little stink bugs. I've read some people call them stick bugs. We call them stink bugs. I grew up calling them stink bugs. And I do believe if you try and harm them, they will let out an odor. Anyway, so I just gently just kind of take them off the wood a little bit. Hey there, little fellas. There we go. We can take those guys off. All right. There you go. A lot of moths out here too, in my firewood. Also, let's not forget, lots of fire ants. Lots of fire ants. I know most of you guys think this is all kindling. Small pieces. This fella didn't want to come on. Everybody's expectations are different about how big their firewood should be when they order it, you know. So this is about the size I use. So I'm hoping that they love it, and they say it's really small pieces. I mean, I'm not hoping they say that, but if they love it and they want to buy more, hopefully, and they offer suggestions like maybe make it just a little bit larger. That's fine. I'm probably gonna make my next stack, my next row is probably gonna be larger firewood. Not twice the size of what I have, but close. But I know it's gonna take a little longer to dry, more than likely. But it'll take less time to process. See, that's probably one of the bigger pieces here, and it's still pretty small. Still pretty small. That's about right. About right. Here we go. That right there. So it's a little more than 2 feet, and that's fine. I am fine with that. And just a little more than 4 feet. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw that in the back of the truck. That is 1/2 of a face cord, people. Okay, 1/2 of a face cord. There we go. I'm gonna throw them back in my truck loosely, start in the back, and get as much as I can underneath that that cover that I have. And then I'm gonna bring my rake with me. That way it's easier for me to pull out of there. This piece right here might be, I'm probably gonna start, at least the next row will probably be about that size split. Compared to, let's see if I can get something a little smaller. Yeah, like these two pieces, that's probably the next sizes compared to maybe that guy. See, it's basically like split in half. See how that goes, see if my customers like that. I can ask them if they prefer smaller splits, which is easier to light, more flame, or do they prefer the longer burn, less getting up and getting more wood. We shall see. Go ahead and close her up. Alright, here we go. This is what it looks like with my cover on. I have one of those trifolds. It's, like I said, a few inches, maybe 3 or 4 inches short of the top of the bed rails there. Alright, you see that? Something like that. This is kind of for my own reference too. So if I get it all the way to the top of the bed rails, it's going to be more than what they're asking for, which I'm sure they'll be really happy. I've actually already done that for a few customers because I thought it was to the top of the bed rails, but it's not. It's just a little shy of it. There we go.
Play Fortnite at all?
Oh yeah. He mostly plays like roadblocks and
yeah.
I don't even know what that means.
Yeah.
I guess it's a lot of games within roadblocks.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's actually kind of genius. They
I mean,
just created this, and it's like old school stuff. It's like not very good graphics. And that's kids, man. They love it. Like,